Today we'll be doing a deep dive into the How to Train Your Dragon universe, digging for Easter eggs that I'm sure you missed. We all know and love the wholesome story and bond between Hiccup and Toothless, but what if I told you the films are full of hidden details, foreshadowing, lore callbacks, and tiny Easter eggs that most people never notice? Let's count down 20 things you definitely missed in How to Train Your Dragon, and if you did manage to catch any of these, let me know below. On number 20, right from the opening, DreamWorks hides a subtle dragon Easter egg. During the classic DreamWorks Boy on the Crescent Moon logo in the first film, a Night Fury silhouette briefly flies past, hinting at Toothless before the story even begins. It's a clever way to set the tone for the film before any dialogue even starts, subtly signaling that dragons are central to the story. It's also a fun, hidden gem that connects the brand identity to the world of the film in a subtle, playful way. At number 19, when Hiccup and Stoic find Toothless injured after their first encounter, both characters whisper, "I did this." That line carries heavy emotional weight because it subtly foreshadows both of them losing limbs later in the series. This moment shows how guilt and responsibility are central themes in the story, even before the main plot unfolds. Viewers might miss the parallel at first, but it becomes clear when later events mirror this early moment. Number 18, during the rainy scene where Hiccup reads the Dragon Handbook, the illustrations come to life after lightning flashes, mimicking his fear response. This animation flair was a deliberate choice to show what Hiccup feels, not just what he sees. This detail shows how the filmmakers blend psychology with visuals, making the audience feel Hiccup's anxiety in real time. Number 17, when Toothless is stuck in the cove, he's unable to escape. However, he does the impossible when Hiccup is in danger. You can see how Toothless calculates every move, weighing risk and instinct, yet always choosing Hiccup first. This is visual storytelling at its finest, showing us the beautiful bond between the two. The cove scene reminds us that their connection is symbolic. Hiccup enables Toothless to fly fully, and Toothless ensures Hiccup's survival in return. Number 16, Gobber jokes that trolls steal socks, but they have some weird obsession with left socks only. This is actually a running theme of disability and symmetry in the story. Toothless loses part of his left tail fin, and Hiccup loses his left leg. The recurring left side motif emphasizes how characters must compensate and adapt, strengthening their bonds with one another. This clever detail is a reminder that in How to Train Your Dragon, nothing is truly random. Even jokes can have layered meaning. Number 15, earlier on in the story, Astrid is extremely skeptical of Hiccup's choices. Once we see Astrid's character growth and she becomes fully accepting of dragons, her earlier skepticism feels even more intentional. Even her interactions with Toothless carry hints of respect that weren't there at first. This is a hidden character arc that only those with a keen eye would have noticed. Number 14, in the marketplace and workshop scenes, you can actually spot Hiccup's earlier failed inventions. They signify his journey from an inexperienced tinkerer to a master inventor. Some of these inventions even appear briefly in later films as more refined tools, hinting that Hiccup keeps learning from his failures. No matter the hardships he faces, Hiccup perseveres, adapts, and comes out of a difficult situation with better ideas than before. Number 13. There are actually multiple cameos from other DreamWorks movies in How to Train Your Dragon. In the hidden world, if you pause at just the right moment during the dragon migration scene, you can spot Gloria the hippo from Madagascar being carried by a dragon. There are also rumors of other cameos hidden in background landscapes, like a woolly mammoth from The Cruise, and small hints of dragons in other DreamWorks films. Number 12. The names of dragons we encounter in the story aren't random. They all have much deeper meaning than you would expect. Many dragon names echo real mythology and language. For example, Stormfly creates storms and lightning, literally reflecting her elemental abilities, while Hookfang hints at both Viking hooks and dragon aggression. Even secondary dragons like Barf and Belch have descriptive traits embedded in their names which fans overlook. These name choices tell us a bit about their combat style long before it's revealed in the story. Number 11. Did you notice Fishleg's dragon stat cards scattered throughout the movies? In multiple scenes, the background contains these mini cards that are essentially encyclopedias listing species info. They're not just decorations, they show how dragons have become part of everyday bird culture. Some of these cards even list traits and weaknesses that foreshadow later plot points, rewarding eagle-eyed viewers. Number 10 is a heartbreaking Easter egg. Stoic is seen wearing a helmet made from his missing wife's armor. It's a symbol of his love for her, as well as his hope of finding her soon. When he finally reunites with his wife, he removes his helmet, signifying emotional closure. Besides the emotional symbolism, Stoic's helmet is also a visual marker of the hardships he's faced as a leader. Every scratch tells the story of a battle fought, wisdom gained, and a lesson passed down to Hiccup. On number 9 are the secrets of Hiccup's Dragon Handbook. The book contains numerous illustrations depicting dragons as mysterious creatures, doing mind-blowing aerial maneuvers, showing how little knowledge Vikings had about the dragons before Hiccup's discoveries. Some pages even feature dragons in group hunting formations, or performing survival strategies, emphasizing intelligence the Vikings never imagined. These small sketches foreshadow the Night Fury's capabilities, and hint that dragons have their own organized civilized society separate from humans. Number 8. The Red Death presence is foreshadowed far before its actual reveal. It's present in background shadows and soundtrack cues long before the final battle, building tension subliminally. You can see it in fleeting glimpses of giant silhouettes under fog and lightning flashes, creating dread without explicit reveal. Even subtle environmental cues like the shaking of the village or sudden silence among dragons foreshadow its arrival and showcase DreamWorks' mastery of suspense. At number 7 is a tiny detail I'm sure most people missed, which is the change of location of Hiccup's bedroom. After Hiccup returns home from his first fight with Toothless, his bed has been moved upstairs. This change implies concern from his family without needing extra dialogue. Hiccup is no longer just a child exploring recklessly, but someone who has risked life and changed the family's perception of him. Number 6. When Gobber builds Toothless the prosthetic for his tail, it's actually a much more advanced invention than many realize. The prosthetic combines principles of leverage, aerodynamics, and material science, all simplified for Hiccup's understanding. This marvel of technology highly influences Hiccup's later innovations, such as the dragon trap and armor. It shows his keenness to learn and adapt, and use critical thinking skills to always innovate. Number 5. Many people theorize that dragons might be able to understand human language at a basic level, and they know more than they let on. However, they choose to hide their intelligence to preserve their autonomy. Throughout the trilogy, dragons like Toothless and Stormfly show complex group tactics and emotional cues. Even small gestures like a tilt of the head or a sudden change in flight pattern can be interpreted as strategic communication. Night Fury's silent communication suggests they might have a culture of their own, with rules, roles, and intelligence that far surpass human assumptions. At number 4, let's talk about the hidden symbolism behind the hidden world. The hidden world is visually structured like a mythical Garden of Eden, full of bioluminescent life and giving whimsical, fantastical vibes. It represents the true origin of dragon evolution. The environment also reinforces the idea that dragons predate humans and are in many ways the planet's original rulers. The fantastical and magical nature of the environment reinforces the idea that dragon society is ancient and self-sustaining. Number 3. In the hidden world, eagle-eyed viewers can catch a bewilderbeast with a broken tusk in the crowd. DreamWorks itself confirmed this Easter egg as a nod to diversity among dragons. This detail subtly implies that every dragon has a history and past battles, even outside the main narrative. Again, it reinforces the idea that dragons have been on the planet for far longer than humans. On number 2, let's discuss the evolutionary genius behind the design of Toothless. His tail fin, retractable teeth, and silent flight all suggest that Night Furies evolved specifically for hunting efficiency and intelligence. Even his eyes are large and expressive, allowing for both communication and superior night vision. Fans have pointed out that his body shape mirrors real-life apex predators, combining agility and raw power. Toothless design alone tells the story of millennia of adaptation, making him a symbol of the hidden intelligence of dragons. At number 1, let's discuss a fan point that makes perfect sense logically, but hasn't been officially addressed in the lore yet. In the story, many dragon species are seen cohabitating in the same ecosystem, such as the aquatic and the territorial dragons. Realistically speaking, these species cannot exist in the same ecosystem. By compressing the ecosystem visually, the films prioritize storytelling and emotion over strict realism, letting audiences focus on narrative and relationships instead of logistics. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the hidden details, Easter eggs, and secrets you probably missed in How to Train Your Dragon. It takes one quite a lot of rewatches to catch all of these hidden things, and I'm sure there are many clues I've missed. If you spotted some of these moments yourself, or if we uncovered something new that blew your mind, drop a comment and let us know. If you'd like to watch similar fun videos, make sure to click on the link that's appearing on your screen.